Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reacting to the Cleveland Browns versus Baltimore Ravens game. I, as a Cleveland Browns fan, was freaking out the entire freaking time. This game looked like it was going to be a blowout. The Ravens were just going to go out there and kill the Browns. Then I thought the Browns maybe had a chance going into halftime. Then I realized, oh shit, our coach is dumb. Then I realized, oh shit, yeah, the Ravens are really going to just beat the shit out of us. And then at the very end, it's like my heart was just pounding. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through, break down the game, kind of walk you through some of the moments that were crazy in this game, things that I kind of want to discuss, and then from there I'm going to talk about the defense, the way they stood in and helped keep this game alive the entirety of the game, talk about Deshaun Watson that really showed up in the second half, and then we're also going to talk about a little bit of special teams because we need to discuss that. But without further ado, if you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure you do drop a like. It's very much appreciated if you do so. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, as you can see, 33-31. This game was just so fucking weird. This game almost reminds me of when the Cleveland Browns played the Indianapolis Colts earlier on the year, where that score was 39-38, I believe. And when you look at that game, you'd be like, man, close to 77 points total combined. There was no defense, but there was. Same thing with this game, 33-31. There was some defense in this game. It's just like the Ravens defense was in the first half, and then the second half it turned to dog shit. The Browns, their defense in the first half was dog shit. In the second half, it came alive, especially in that fourth quarter. I'm going to kind of walk you through my emotions throughout the game. First quarter, like I said, Browns defense was MIA. The Ravens offense, it was there. Second play of the game, the Browns got the ball, and once again, it looked like a little lob pass to David Njoku. I think even if Njoku caught the ball, it would have been like a 2-yard pass. He would have got blown up by, I think, the blitzing linebacker. But Kyle Hamilton, he was there. He swatted the ball up. He got the pick, walked in the end zone. It was a little icy cold the way he walked in. Then later on in the first quarter, Keaton Mitchell, he had a 39-yard run, and when he had that run, we went down 14-0. I was thinking to myself, 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're already down 14 points. Do I even want to watch the rest of this game? Then from there, the rest of the first half, it was just like a field goal battle. We got a field goal, they got a field goal. We got a field goal, then we got another field goal. They did have an opportunity for a field goal to go up to 9-20 at halftime. But luckily, I think it was Jordan Elliott. He got his big paws up there, swatted that ball. Anthony Walker got the ball, and he would have went out at our own 30-yard line, but he was smart, cut left, went up the left side, got almost at the midfield, a little bit past midfield. We were able to get another field goal. I think that's whenever we went up 9-17. But then at the end of the first half, the reason why I said in the intro, our coach is a dumbass. We get a pick about like 40 seconds to go before the end of the first half. Lamar Jackson throws a pick. We run it back. We get to about like the 50-yard line. What do? We get down to like the 42-yard line. It's like 1st and 10, somewhere around there. I think we had like one timeout left. What do? Pass, pass, pass. Incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. So now with like, I want to say 6 seconds to go, 7 seconds to go, we are with one timeout. Ravens have a timeout. It's 4th and 10. We have the opportunity for Dustin Hopkins to come out here and kick a 60-yard field goal. Yes, it's long, but he's made a career-long 58-yarder back when we played Indianapolis. I realize Indianapolis is an indoor stadium. I realize Baltimore is an outdoor stadium. The ball might be swirling, the wind itself might be swirling a little bit. That ball might not cruise directly where he wants it to go. But in that moment, if I was a coach, I would have at least given our guy a shot, because I think in Kevin Stefanski's mind, he's thinking he's going to have to kick a low trajectory. We've already seen our special teams block a kick. Who says they can't block a kick? And also, if he misses the kick, then you're giving the ball back to the Ravens where they could possibly chuck up a Hail Mary, or maybe if they want to send Justin Tucker out there to kick a long-ass field goal, they could attempt it, because we all know Tucker has the longest field goal ever made. They might give him a shot. So in that moment, I would say, why didn't we make the fucking kick? We could have at least, even if Dustin Hopkins misses the kick, even if it comes up short, I would have felt more responsible with that. But instead, we decide Ravens are going to ice our kicker. We have a timeout, so if we want to let Dustin Hopkins go over there and just keep on warming up a little bit, and we want to go out there and maybe, oh, let's try a hard count. Let's see if we can get a free 5 yards. We could try that, call our timeout, and then we could go back out there and just kick the field goal. But no, instead we leave Hopkins out there for the entire time. He does absolutely nothing. And then right before the clock's about to hit 0 on the play clock, we call our timeout, and then we say, Hopkins, get out of the game. Watson is injured at that moment. He had an ankle injury. He got tackled later on in the second quarter. He comes out of the game. He's going back to the locker room already. So what do? We bring out PJ Walker to chuck up a Hail Mary that he couldn't even get it to the 10-yard line. I swear to God, the whole first half was like just stupid after stupid after stupid. And then to make it even worse, we open up third quarter, and what happens? A quick slant route from an Odell Beckham Jr., and he just takes that sucker straight to the house. And I'm telling you right now, when that play happened and they went up 9-24, I was already prepared. I was literally ready. I was coming over here to sit down, and I was like, fuck this game. I'm not watching the rest. We lost. I'm going to make this video now. I, for some reason, decided I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to calm down. Let's see what happens. Browns were able to move the ball down the field. This drive here, 17 plays, 75 yards, 10 minutes. That was a good-ass drive, to be honest. We got the 3-yard rushing touchdown. We got the 2-point conversion. That was huge going into the third quarter, or getting ready to go into the fourth quarter. And after we scored there, our defense came up huge. We stopped the Ravens. And going into the fourth quarter, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. We got some momentum. We're going to be good. They punt the ball. James Prochet, I think is his name. He's a former Raven. I'm starting to think this boy had some money line on the Ravens, because what does he do? He fucking muffs the punt. Ravens get the ball, and they easily score a touchdown. And in this moment, I think every single one of us was immediately saying, what the fuck? Fast forward, the Browns did not give up. They did not give up. They went down. They got the touchdown. Elijah Moore, a little 10-yard check down pass from Deshaun Watson. It looked like he was going to take a run and go for the end zone, but I think as he ran up, the linebackers creeped up, left Elijah Moore wide open. He was able to just check it down. He got in the end zone. Easy 7. And then you notice right there, the time is not very far apart. We got a pick 6. I think it was Alex Wright or whoever. I think it was even Ogbo. He might have got his arm up. He swatted the ball up. That ball went flying about 30 yards in the air. Greg Newsome from the way back end had to run up. He caught that sucker and he went straight in the end zone. Believe it or not, it was his first ever career. It's his first career interception in the NFL. I didn't know that. And I know every single Browns fan had been on cloud fucking 9. I was. And I was cheering. I was happy. I was excited. But the one thing you don't fucking do, miss the extra point. And kind of like what I said earlier on, it seemed like the Browns defense, no matter what was going on with the offense, even when they were struggling, and then as they got better, they were coming over to each person anytime somebody made a mistake, and they would pretty much say, we got you. We got pat you on the back. We got you. And they did that with Hopkins. The defense, I saw Newsome even go over, and he patted Dustin Hopkins on his shoulder, on his back, and he told him, don't worry, baby. We got you. We got you. We're going to give you another shot. And that's exactly what they did. They were able to get a stop. They got the ball back in the offense, and they went down and got a 40-yard field goal to win the sucker. Now that that's out of the way, let me kind of go through and we're going to break down a couple of different things. I want to first start off with the injuries, because I have seen people talking about some of the Ravens. They had a couple people go down in this game and saying, well, you only won because of injuries. Browns were playing without both their starting tackles. They played without Denzel Ward. He went out in the second quarter. He, I believe, being evaluated for another concussion. This is the second one of the season. And Deshaun Watson already has the hurt shoulder. I'm pretty sure he's good now on that. But he now has a lingering ankle injury. He said he's good. He's going to play next week. I'm not trusting that. We'll see how he does in practice. But he is going to be having a lingering ankle injury that entire game. And he still played with it. So any Ravens fans that complain about injuries, stop that. Get some help. The next thing I want to talk about is the refs. People saying refs versus Ravens. Bro, did you not watch the second and third quarter where the amount of time, I think it was the third quarter when the Ravens had the ball, and there was like third and goal after third down after third down. The Browns would get a sack. The Browns would get an incomplete pass. The one time they had an interception in the back of the end zone, and they called a fucking hold, I think once on Greg Newsome, once they called a hold on Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and then another time they called an illegal contact on Denzel Ward. What are we doing? Now, I will agree the hold on JOK, that was ticky-tacky. The legal contact on Denzel Ward, that was illegal contact. But the hold on Greg Newsome, even the announcer even said, that's not a hold. What are we doing? Because it looked like he kind of like looped his hand up around him, but he barely even held the receiver enough to restrict him from running around. If you want to call illegal contact, that would have been the call, because I believe Lamar was still a little bit in the pocket. So if you want to call illegal contact on that, that would have been the call. But the refs calling holding and sometimes even pass interference in those moments, what are we doing? So for all the Ravens fans that are saying, you guys got cheated with the refs, fuck that. No. Now I kind of want to talk about the Browns defense real quickly. We held Lamar to 13 of 23, 223 yards, touchdown, 2 interceptions. The one interception, that tip ball that went up about 30 yards in the air, that I wouldn't really call interception on him, more or less because that one was just straight up a doink that could have came down. That wasn't a ball that like he's responsible for. That ball could have been swatted down. One of his guys could have gotten it, anything like that. There was an analyst on ESPN. He called it a BBB, a bad break ball, is what he described it as. So I guess we'll chalk up to that. The interception at the end of the first half, that one was a bad one. It looked like he was throwing a go ball to Rashad Bateman. Maybe Bateman was supposed to do a comeback route. Bateman had other ideas. He was going deep downfield, and Lamar threw the ball looking like a comeback route. And I think it was Mike Ford with the corner. He just came back. He looked back, and he saw that ball coming. He said, okay, free ball. All in all, I think Lamar played an average game. The thing I don't understand is everybody talking about Lamar. He plays so good. He does everything right. He's an MVP caliber talent. He went 13 to 23, meaning you only completed 13 passes. A lot of times when you do that, that means you ran the ball like crazy. Well, in this game, you only had 160 yards rushing. And a lot of people were even saying Deshaun Watson played a horrible game. He did not do good. But Lamar, he played good. He just had a couple of weird plays. Let's look at some of the stats. Okay, 20 of 34, 213 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. And let's look at the QBR, because everybody likes to look at the QBR. 60 QBR for Deshaun Watson, 52 QBR for Lamar Jackson. I'm getting sidetracked there for a second, but let's get back to the defense. They held, like I said, they held the Ravens to a good number, 100 rushing yards. If we can keep a team to about 100 and below on rushing yards, that is phenomenal. And then when it comes to receiving, the thing that we needed to do most was don't let their big-time talents just obliterate us. And their big-time talents were Mark Andrews. We held him to 44 yards. That's not what we want. We don't want him going that many. I would have liked to see him down around like 20, 30 yards. And about 2 catches is reasonable. Odell, we let him only get 1 catch, but it was the 40-yard slant that he just cruised to the house. Other than that, we kind of held everybody else in check, I think. And when you look at the Browns' defensive numbers, like I said, this defense was hunting Lamar Jackson, I think. I think Lamar had about 3 sacks. When you look at the sack numbers, Myles Garrett, 1.5 sacks. If you don't have this man on your Defensive Player of the Year, a ballot at the end of the season, what football game are you watching? Zadarius Smith got in there for half a sack. JOK got in there for half a sack. Greg Newsome got in there for half a sack. I realize sacks are a hard stat to come by, so let's look at some of the quarterback hits. You can see there were some also, Myles Garrett obviously got the 2 quarterback hits. Zadarius Smith had some quarterback hits. JOK did get some hits. Greg Newsome obviously got some hits. Everybody else, though, that was the big thing. The times where you saw guys like Dalvin Tomlinson, the Jordan Elliott's, the Diabate, even Juan Thornhill got in there a few times where he almost got to the quarterback. They were getting there, but they were getting there when penalties were happening in the back end, weird hands to the face penalties. It was a very strange game. All in all, I'm going to say this. I think the defense played, if I had to give them a rating 1 to 10, I'd say like a 7.5, maybe an 8. They could have been a little bit better because obviously there were some plays where they had the Ravens basically buried. They had them in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. They could get off the field. But like I said, penalties. You gotta clean that up. Kind of want to talk about the run game a little bit, and as well as the offensive line. Run game did good. 17 carries, 107 yards. Deshaun Watson got a little bit involved in the run game. Kareem Hunt, he did his dirty work. That's kind of what he's there for. He does the dirty runs. Everybody said whenever Jerome Ford had to be the starting running back for the Browns going forward, when Nick Chubb went down, everybody was wondering, is Jerome Ford going to be the guy? So far, Ford is doing good. I think Jerome Ford is getting vision better as the season goes on. He's seeing the lanes a little better, and he's reading his options of where he can run between the tackles, and I do like that. And then with the offensive line, the thing I want to talk about, obviously, like I said in the beginning, both tackles, Jeg Wills is on IR, Jack Conklin went down earlier in the year, and DeJuan Jones also did not play in that game. A backup tackle that we were missing, that we were scared of not seeing, that shows DeJuan Jones has showed improvement this year, and with him not even being there, we were going to need to see these backups, James Hudson and Christian. They were both being the replacements for the 2 guys. And I'm going to be honest, they did good. And this goes for more than just the offensive line. I think even the tight ends, the receivers, they got involved in this. One thing that we all know about AFC North football, it is a physical fucking game. The guys love to push around. They love to fight. They love to bully. And let me tell you, Harrison Bryant got involved earlier on. Wyatt Teller got involved later on. And then I want to say Cedric Tillman got involved later on, or earlier, or I think it was like 3rd quarter. Those hits and those booms, that's AFC North football. And for some reason, after those hits, some of the Ravens players, they were getting like offended and being like, why are you hitting us like this? Bro, this is AFC North football. What the fuck you want? If you can't take a punch to the mouth, you need to go to another division. Last thing I kind of want to talk about, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. Deshaun Watson, the man played a stellar game in the second half. The first half, fuck no. Second half, fuck yes. In the first half, I think he went like 9 of 20. In the second half, he showed up. Correction, it was 6 for 20. And then, as we can see by the stats, he didn't miss a single throw the rest of the game. Like I said earlier, he finished off the game 20-34, 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did get sacked a few times, but that's more on the offensive line. And I kind of expected him to get sacked at least maybe a time or two, being because this offensive line was not playing good. But as the game went on, he did get sacked, I think, once or twice in the second half. But most of the time, where the offensive line was struggling, he was able to break out of there. And especially in the 4th quarter, when we got him, or whenever he took us down into field goal range to give us the opportunity at the end of the game, that was on his legs. He escaped the pocket, and he ran out of there and got that first down and even more yards to get in the field goal range. There's been this saying over all these weeks this season, even going back to last season, of we gave this man $230 million, fully guaranteed. There needs to be some repercussions if he cannot do what we want him to do. And everybody's always asked, you paid him this much money. What the fuck did you think you were going to get? He's not playing good. He's playing like shit. What we saw in the second half, and especially in the 4th quarter, That is what you paid $230 million for. Not to go out there and put up 400 yards and, well, what happens when you lose 38-31 or something like that? That's not what we paid for. We paid for him to play good football, help out the team. We can still run the ball, still make easy throws. But when the time comes tough and it's the fourth quarter and we're maybe down a score, down 2 scores, maybe we're up a score, we need to go get some first downs to win the game. That's what we paid you for. If you can do those things at a high level, elite level, you're going to get more money. So to kind of summarize the entire game of kind of how I'm feeling, like I said, offensive line, they played good, even with the guys not being out there. They showed what real AFC North football is, pushing guys around, punching people in the face. The defense, they set the tone in this game. Even though we went down 14-0, 7 of those points was not on the Browns defense, so realistically the defense only allowed 24 points. The special teams is so up and down because, like I said, we got the blocked kick, field goal, but then we had the muff punt at the very end. I'm pretty sure Prochet, he's going to be drilled all week this week. He's going to probably do nothing but just be on the sideline, taking the balls up in the air, and just catching. That's all he's going to be doing all week. He's just going to be catching punts. Oh, and the one thing I forgot to even mention, we could have lost this game very realistically. I realized, like I said earlier on, the extra point that missed. At that point, I was like, fuck, we just lost this game because of that. Because Lamar's just going to go down here and get some points. What happens? He ended up not getting the first down. They punt the ball. We get the ball back. I want to say it was like 1st and 10. We had just gotten a first down, and it was 1st and 10. Deshaun Watson looked like he was going to throw the ball, and as he was winding up, he got that ball swatted. He knocks the ball out, and we fumbled the ball. The hit that I mentioned earlier where Wyatt Teller absolutely blew up a guy, if he didn't turn around to hit the guy, he would not have been able to turn around and see the ball go to the ground. If he didn't hit that guy, Deshaun wasn't getting that ball. I'm pretty sure Clowney probably would have gotten the ball, or some Raven would have gotten the ball, and game over, because they would have had the ball inside their own 20 about. They would have been able to run the clock down, get their, maybe kick a field goal, maybe had to force us to go down and score a touchdown instead, or they could have easily just ran the clock out. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up there. Like I said, this was a very up and down kind of game. Special teams was up and down. Defense, they started off slow, but they finished strong. And then when it comes to the offense, Deshaun, he started off slow, but they finished strong. And the very last thing I'm going to say, people have been wondering with this game, I've seen it all over Twitter, people are saying, who do we give credit to for this game? Because it's like, you kind of want to give credit to Dustin Hopkins because he made all his kicks. And then you also kind of think, well, do we give credit to Deshaun Watson for the way how he capitalized in the second half? Do you give credit to the defense, the way they stepped up in the second half? Do you give credit to Kevin Stefanski maybe? Because obviously you had to have some coaching involved there in that second half to keep the guys driven and determined and fighting for the victory. I don't really know who you give the credit to. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure you go and drop a like. Very much appreciate it if you do so. If you watched the entire today's video and you had a different opinion on kind of how the Browns game went, maybe you are a Browns fan, or if you are a Ravens fan and you had a different opinion on kind of how the game went, maybe you saw something different than I did, maybe you saw a different detail, maybe you thought Deshaun Watson didn't play good and you think he needs to play better. Did you have a different opinion on Lamar Jackson, on kind of how he did? And you want to leave your opinion down in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. More than welcome to talk about it, chat it with you guys. If you are new to the channel and you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.